Sitting here trying to find the words to say. Thoughts run together like the games we play. Sorry, didn't mean it, I'll never take center stage. Slowly drowning, voices sounding, love's color fades away. Pretty lips are cutting to a blinding smile. They scatter pores and sweet seduction style. Dreams are sweet asleep and awake as vow. Slowly drowning, voices pounding, love's colors fade to black. Oh yeah. These words only hurt. They have a way of going too far. Better left alone is what they are. These words only hurt. Why don't we try a little harder? Love deserves to go much farther. These words only hurt when spoken. I remember long, long walks in the dead of night, holding hands under God's perfect lights. Beautiful, sexy, romantic, perfect lines. Always drowning, lonesome sounding, love's color takes me back. We don't need these words only hurt. They have a way of going too far. Better left alone is what they are. These words only hurt. Why don't we try a little harder? Love deserves to go much farther. These words only hurt when spoken. Oh yeah. These words only hurt. They have a way of going too far. Better left alone is what they are. These words only hurt. Why don't we try a little harder? Love deserves to go much farther. Oh, these words only hurt. They have a way of going too far. Better left alone is what they are. These words only hurt. Why don't we try a little harder? Love deserves to go much farther. These words only hurt when spoken. When spoken.
Very cool. My name is Ronnie Dean. This is Nashville Side Streets. In there running camera tonight is my wife, Nancy. Say hi, Nancy. Oh, isn't it working? Well, that's all right. We'll get it in a second. To my left over here is Firing Embers. Where you guys come from originally?
Carthage, Mississippi.
And Birmingham, Alabama.
And you guys got together how?
Oh my gosh. We were actually in a cover band back in the end of 2013, and we toured together.
2012.
Oh, I was off by a year.
That's what it says on
Hey,
your
now.
bio.
Got to go by the bio. Come on now.
I can't keep up with things here. But anyway, we toured together with a band called the Hollers out of Birmingham, Alabama. We did that for about a year. And after it kind of disbanded, we went our separate ways. But me and Chase here kept in touch, kept calling each other, and over the years, and eventually we started writing together.
You've got an interesting style. It reminds me. I was telling Nancy in there as you were singing of big stage somewhere, like singing. You were talking about singing contemporary Christian for a while before we started with the show tonight. Who did you sing with, or were you playing drums with them?
I was playing drums and singing, actually. It was a band called 316 back in Carthage, Mississippi. It was a couple of guys from Jackson, Mississippi. We just kind of got together by a friend of a friend, and we started doing youth functions together, writing our own songs together. Ended up having about 25 songs that we'd written together, and we would just tour around doing youth festivals, rallies, things like that. What's
the object of what you guys are doing right now? You want to put a full band together? You want to perform as you are?
It's kind of, we're open to it being whatever it might develop into. Right now, we're doing it just an acoustic thing because that's the easiest.
It is
to manage.
And it's all you also can make better money at it.
Yeah.
So helps.
It's a great.
We'll see as time goes on.
So how long you been doing it together?
About a year.
About a year.
Yeah.
Basically, that's pretty good. Do you book yourself?
We do.
Do you?
Yes.
What have you book or
my
just?
wife is actually our manager, and she pretty much gets on the phone with like the TV people and radio people as well. And
That's what I was going to ask you next. Is if you guys were married? Are you both married?
I am.
Yeah, you're not married. To some degree, and if your wife watches this show, excuse me, but to some degree, it's easier sometimes if you're not.
It is. I think it depends on what you're doing or how often you're doing it. For instance, a couple of years back, I was doing cruise ships as a drummer, and it was so easy not having to worry about a wife being back home. I wasn't married at the time, but when you're gone for months at a time, as well as we do, it's hard. It's hard to manage all of that. If you're like being married now, for instance, I went out to Las Vegas for a couple of weeks and played, and I was able to bring her out for the last bit of that. So it was very good having her. I miss her when she's away, but sometimes you just can't help it. You just have to.
Music is an interesting thing. If you watch Paul McCartney during his first part of his career, many, many years, his wife played in the band.
Right.
And honestly, he brought her along for that reason, basically, to make sure that she could keep an eye on him and he could keep an eye on her.
That's
well,
right.
see, I just made a good friend of your wife here.
She's like, I'll never miss him again, ever.
Go ahead and do us another song. This is Firing Embers.
Embers falling, fire beneath the stars, dreams like sparks into the night. The cold surrounds me, I wanna feel the warmth. Life can make you miss the light. Sympathies so often overlooked, the moments fade before my eyes. I need some passion, a reason to forget. There's more to life than this. Where do we go from here? What am I doing wrong? So many nights with nothing to show. Feels like I can't go on. So dream when the fire dies. Embers remember to forget the past is gone. So sing your song. Life's too short, the memories far too long. When the fire dies, oh, well the moment's gone, you know. When the fire dies, oh, embers in.
That's pretty cool. You guys arrange your own stuff? You put it together, both of you?
It is very weird. Considering we live a state apart, most of the stuff we've done is Chase would have like the melody, and he would send this to me, say, what you think about this? And once he would send me the melody, I would just kind of sing it around in my head for like a week or two, and if it stuck, I'd start writing the words. So it ended up just getting like that, and then me and him would get together and put it together. And
It sticks, you know you got a good tune.
Right.
Yeah, that's a very good way to look at it.
Right.
Because I've had a lot of tunes I've written and it didn't stick, and I thought that's it. Out the door.
Right,
we need to put it in a can or something for a while. What gig brought you guys to this town?
Oh wow! I came here in 2012 to live, and I was actually had heard of a band called Jasmine Kane. She does mostly bike rallies, rock music, mostly covers, but she has some incredible originals as well. And that's what got me interested in her. So I looked her up, and sure enough, I got in touch with her and said, "Look, I'm wanting to move to Nashville. Could I, audition?" Ended up, I played with them a couple of times, and then finally got involved with that and moved up here, and toured with them for about 5 months.
What do you think of Nashville?
Love it.
Do you?
Always have.
You like it? Nancy, here's Mike.
Yeah. Oh.
This is a live show.
Check one. Hey, there we are.
There we are.
Hey.
So you've been here how many
Sorry
times?
about that.
I mean, I've been up here several times. I haven't lived here before, but it's an awesome town. Every time I've been up here, it's a memorable experience.
So many good musicians here and writers and songwriters and whatever. The thing about it is there's a box here, and if you don't fit into the box, it doesn't seem to work for anybody. But the ones who stand out of that box are the ones that I have on this show.
Oh wow!
I don't. The box, as far as I'm concerned, is something that everybody gets into because they figure the industry is only going to want one thing. Right. But that's a joke, because the industry is looking for somebody different, right. And they know when they walk into a club or when they walk into a performance like you guys are performing someplace that you have something quality-wise that's different than everything they hear every day. I think that's marketing awesome. Is an interesting thing. How do you market yourself?
Oh, I think exactly what you said. Trying to have a sound that's different from everything else, but staying true to your own music. And sometimes I would think, well, I sound just like this guy or that guy. But truthfully, when I got it out, they would tell me exactly that you don't sound like anything I've heard, or at least lately. So I was like, okay, well, that's good. So I just kept going with that.
Where are you guys going to go next after this? Where are you going to play next?
Well, I know we're going to be doing like radio interview type things across Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee.
How'd you guys land those?
I think it was different every time. In some cases, he knew of a club that was needing a band or a friend of a friend we could open up for or do shows with. Like we've got several friends from Georgia, actually, that we had been doing some shows with. And then in Mississippi, my wife was booking bands for a couple of clubs, and she had a couple of bigger name people coming through, and we were able to open up for them. So
very cool. Go ahead and do us another song. This is Firing Embers. This is Nashville Side Streets, and the lady that didn't turn on the switch is my wife, Nancy. Say hi, Nancy.
Nancy's awesome.
Hi, I was turning the switch off.
This is a live show. I enjoy it for the fact that it's live. Firing Embers.
The world is sleeping, now you and me. Animalistic instinct controlling. as I start to change, something's coming over. I have no power, my blood runs colder. Why hear the midnight calling? I see the face in the moon. The cry of the wolf is howling, taking me back to you. The scent of your flesh is toxic, piercing with night eyes blue. I'm hungry for your sweet love, and the midnight is calling for you. Oh, oh. Your touch is amazing, a silhouette of a dream. Overwhelming excitement's convincing. As you start to change, something's coming over. I have no power under hypnosis. I hear the midnight calling, I see the face in the moon. The cry of the wolf is howling, taking me back to you. The scent of your flesh is toxic, piercing with night eyes blue. I'm hungry for your sweet love, and the midnight is calling to you. Oh, yeah. I'm calling, falling so deeply. I'm hungry, so hungry. Set me free. Why hear the midnight calling? I see the face in the moon. The cry of the wolf is howling, taking me back to you. The scent of your flesh is toxic, piercing with night eyes blue. I'm hungry for your sweet love, and the midnight is calling. Why hear the midnight calling? I see the face in the moon. The cry of the wolf is howling, taking me back to you. The scent of your flesh is toxic, piercing with night eyes blue. I'm hungry for your sweet love, and the midnight is calling for you. Oh, oh. Ooh.
So do you guys co-write with anybody else?
I do. I also play drums in a band that I tour with, and the lead singer and I, we do some co-writing together.
What's the name of the group?
The Mickey Utley Band. He's out of Jackson, Tennessee.
And that's, you came down here recently.
We did. He actually was signed with Curb Records a few years back, and now he just tours independently with doing mostly casinos.
All
So we're
original
doing casinos.
stuff?
No, it's about half and half. Half and half. It just depends on the show. If we're an opener, we'll do originals. If we're just out playing somewhere, we'll do covers too.
How many pieces?
4.
Good group?
Very
a lot of fun?
good group. We got the guitarist from Jefferson Starship. The bass player, he's been in several really great acts, and Mickey himself, he's done some good stuff too. So
So you started off playing drums basically?
I did. I was playing actually in church. I was a church drummer for about 15 years, and just kind of got into this. I was singing as well, so I just started doing both.
We talked about this a little before the show started tonight. Basically, playing drums and singing is not an easy thing to do. Do you do it very often?
Pretty much all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do it usually about 3 to 4 nights a week now. So.
It doesn't bother you playing 16ths on one side and the one on the other?
I
and the
wouldn't
two
say
on
it
the
didn't
other?
bother me. I'll tell you this, by about the 4th hour, if we're doing like long cover shows, it will play a toll on you.
Everybody that, like I told you before the show, everybody that I've ever seen actually do it right and make it work usually lost syncopation somewhere in the middle, especially on something hard where you're trying to do a roll or whatever.
Right.
But
I think it's just like anything else. If you'll concentrate on one thing, you don't have to really think about the other. So that's what I do. I try to either concentrate on the singing and don't let the playing affect me, or vice versa.
So you said that you before the show that you worked during the daytime?
Yeah, that's correct.
What do you do?
I teach music lessons at a school out in Pelham, Alabama.
So music lessons, like so much an hour? Mm-hmm. So much a half an hour?
Yeah, hour, half hour. Yeah.
How many students do you have?
I have about 40 students. And then
Holy cow!
Yeah, and then I have
You're making an actual living at it.
I do all right, and so yeah, I've got 3 groups there that they form bands, and we work on songs, like learning how to play together as a group. So
when the show is aired, you ought to get a hold of a bunch of your students and say, this is me. At a live show in Nashville, Tennessee.
There you go.
Pretty cool. How old are your students?
Man, they range from 5 to 65.
Let me tell you a quick story. In Seattle, Washington, where I'm from, I had an apartment for a long time. In that apartment, I taught for a little bit, and I had a few students, and this one guy that I had, he was belligerent. He wanted everything on electricity, which doesn't bother me. I mean, if he wants to learn on electricity and put the acoustic away, that's fine. So we went in that direction from Led Zeppelin on down and all these different licks, and I was showing him and whatever. And he finally got bored and he quit. And I came down here. I've been down here about 15 years. I was in a club one afternoon, and this guy walks out and he looks at me and he says, let me ask you something. Did you have an apartment in Seattle, Washington? I said, yeah, I did. What? He said, he's a chef now. And he said, I was one of your students, guitar students. And he said, I was the bad one. I said, really? Well, I said, which? And then it hit me, who this kid was. And I said, are you still playing guitar? No.
He's a chef.
I said, do you play acoustic or anything? No. I said, do you ever pick one up? No. So that was the end of that. Either I did a bad job and discouraged him, or he just decided it wasn't worth it anymore. He said he had a lot of people that were telling him that it was a hard thing to do. It was a hard road to follow, basically. It is, basically. How many years you guys been doing this? I mean, not total. How many years you been doing it on a professional basis? Let's say making money at it.
I would say making money at it for about 20.
That's a long time.
Years.
And you?
Making money at it, maybe about 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the schedule that you've got for teaching, you're able to block some time out and go out on the road and do whatever you need to do, I gather.
Yeah, it's flexible, so that's nice.
Great.
Yeah, it is. So you both, as I said before, you both write the music, or you help each other write it, or?
Yeah, basically, like as far as our project goes, Firing Embers, like I'll write the music and I'll send it to him and see if it kind of like piques his interest and inspires him to write something to it, or if he's just kind of like, yeah,
that's
okay.
like Bernie Taupin and Elton John,
Yeah.
That's what they did.
That's true.
They made a lot of money doing that.
Well, he has a lot of great ideas. I mean, he'll send like 7 or 8 sometimes. In the beginning, for sure, it was 7 or 8 at a time, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I would just go through and I'd just pick one, and I'd really listen to that one, and I'd be like, oh, okay. But by the second one, I mean, he had some great stuff, and I think that first chunk he sent me, I think we wrote 2, maybe 3 songs.
Did you Skype it?
No.
We haven't.
I don't know.
No, mostly phone call, record it on your iPhone or whatever, and say, hey, listen to this, or email back and forth, things like that.
It's a great thing. Technology is a great thing nowadays.
It is.
Telephones and the internet is, I mean, you can do anything that you want to do. It's a very cool thing. Go ahead and do us another song. Nashville Side Streets, this is Firing Embers.
Running away from everything you stand for, searching for a reason, hope don't live here anymore. Can I ask you a question? Please don't lie. Is it all right with you if I take a little time? Is it all right with you if I make up my own mind? Is it all right with you if I don't do what you like? Is it all right with you if I make it through the night alive? Dreaming, new beginning, time to turn the page. Feelings, they're not ending. Some things just don't fade away. Can I ask you a question? Please don't lie. Is it all right with you if I take a little time? Is it all right with you if I make up my own mind? Is it all right with you if I don't do what you like? Is it all right with you if I make it through the night alive? Can I ask you a question? Please don't lie. Is it all right with you if I take a little time? Is it all right with you if I make up my own mind? Is it all right with you if I don't do what you like? Is it all right with you if I make it through the night alive? Oh yeah. Oh, is it alright? Is it alright? Is it alright with you? Yeah. Oh, is it alright with you?
This is Firing Embers to my left over here. I'm going to advertise a little bit. I've got a place right down the street from us. You guys probably drove past it tonight called Authentic Coffee. And these guys, seating in that place is about 25. It's a 100-year-old house that a guy used to work at Starbucks, and he turned this 100-year-old house into a very cool coffee shop with a lot of antiques. On Friday nights, he has people from all over this whole area up here come in. He has like sometimes 150 different people, and they all have little groups, and they play music. And it's a great place to go on a Friday night. It's a great place to go, period, for a cup of coffee. Again, Authentic Coffee Company, right-hand side of the road, headed into White House. The guy's name is Jeff. He's a really good people. We got about time enough for one more tune. You got where you headed next again?
Probably to Memphis to do a thing there on a TV show.
And you've got a new CD that you're putting together between the two of you, and that's coming out when?
We're actually doing it single by single, and we're going to release Spoken, the first song we did first, and we're going to release that, and then just kind of put things together as they go, and maybe eventually do an EP.
Very cool. Of how many tunes? 6, did you say?
Probably
before the
so.
show we were talking about that? 6 tunes?
Probably so.
Any of these tunes you guys are doing tonight?
Pretty much all of them. I would say 3 of them. Like I said, one of the songs, Midnight Calling, was on his solo project he did last year, and All Right With You that we just did is on a CD that I did with an independent label I was with a few years back.
Introduce yourself, one by one.
I'm Chase Arrington, the guitar player.
And you?
I'm Shane Russell, the lead singer.
Again, they're called Firing Embers. On the internet, how can they get a hold of you? You guys got a website?
We do, firingembers.com.
Firingembers.com. On that, have you got a place where they can contact you?
We do. We've got our management's there, pictures, gigs that we're going to, our schedule, tour dates, and everything will be there, and as well as when the song will be released.
When this show airs, there will be people that will want to know where you're at and how they can get a hold of you and whatever. So if that's the extent of it, basically. That's the extent of it. Do us one more song.
Okay.
Keep on playing. You know, you've got a sound that is much bigger than this room. That's a compliment.
Thank you, Ron.
In the confusion, trying to find a way, and there's the conclusion, controlled how we faded away. Crashing waves fall down, drowning the mountains of pain. Time is numbing out, indifferent to everything. So when I think about the past, about things that didn't last, and nothing is forever only, would you see this very moment, letting go of everything, all the doubting, all the shame? 'Cause in the end it doesn't matter, really, it's so petty. Life is illusion, a painted reality, blind execution, all that you wanted to see. Now the rains fade out, whole new perception in view. Time is numbing out everything in view. So when I think about the past, about things that didn't last, nothing is forever only, would you see this very moment, letting go of everything, all the doubting, all the shame? 'Cause in the end it doesn't matter, really, it's so bad. When I think about the past, about things that didn't last, nothing is forever only, but you see this very moment, letting go of everything, all the doubting, all the shame. 'Cause in the end it doesn't matter, really. When I think about the past, about things that didn't last, nothing is forever only, but you see this very moment, letting go of everything, all the doubting, all the shame. 'Cause in the end it doesn't matter, really, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Very cool. You guys got a great sound. Seriously. That's the beginning of something that I hear with a whole bunch of other instruments around you. So somewhere down the road, somebody's going to incorporate a whole bunch of stuff.
I think so.
From drummers on down. Would you, in a group like that, would you actually sit back behind the drums again?
I don't think so.
No.
I love the freedom of being out there.
Yeah.
Versus being confined.
Totally different thing.
Totally.
You standing up, feel like Phil Collins. You know, same kind of thing,
Exactly.
basically.
Yep.
He came out from beyond. He's a great syncopated drummer. I think
Oh, yeah.
anyway.
He is.
I think he's one of the best that there is.
He is.
Anyway,
Very
these
much
guys
so.
are Firing Embers, and they're running the camera tonight. It's my wife, Nancy. Say hi, Nancy. I think you're on now.
Hi.
There we are. That's better. And that's about it. So good night. I hope you guys have a great tour wherever you're headed back to. Drive carefully. And again, this is Nashville Side Streets. Thanks a lot. My name is Ronnie Dean.
Sitting here trying to find the words to say. Thoughts run together.